I came across a study by the World Bank in March last year which said that women held only 20% of jobs in the water sector. How did the study define water sector jobs? Given the sheer numbers of women working as health workers, human rights experts, community advice officers, institutional and policy experts, social facilitators, planners, writers, communicators, and so on in the water sector, was that finding rooted in and unintentionally perpetuating the deep technical and financial bias that persists throughout the water sector? The technical and financial bias of the water sector is immensely harmful. In the first place, it's harmful to water services themselves, to the services end users receive. Because if there's anything we've learnt over the last few decades, it's that water services are about more than technology and finance. Pumps and pipes are necessary but far from sufficient. It takes systems, planning, policy, regulatory and institutional systems to keep water flowing and latrines safe. These so-called soft skills are profoundly undervalued, and yet they are the lifeblood of safely managed, sustainable water and sanitation services. Its bias is also harmful to the sector. Diversity in a workforce brings together different complementary skill sets, different approaches to problem solving. It fosters innovation, produces better quality, more adaptive management. Gender bias or discrimination in hiring, retaining, and advancing women in the workforce is also harmful to the economy and to society. Placing a higher monetary value on roles and jobs traditionally or stereotypically assigned to men, such as technical or financial jobs, not only devalues women and their work, but it keeps an entire class of people disenfranchised or economically disempowered. Well, what needs to happen is that we need to identify and remove the barriers to women's participation as sector leaders. Some of those barriers and some of those actions could include combating low literacy in women and in girls, put women in leadership positions and equip them and support them to properly fulfill them. Have quotas. We have been so against quotas. Have them. They're necessary. They're not sufficient. Fill them. Monitor and report on them. Reward improvements. There must be accountability about addressing inequality in the water sector. Quotas are not a bad place to start, but they're really not the end of the story. They're just the beginning. Provide childcare support. Absolutely critical. Provide travel support. Sanction sexism, racism, and all forms of prejudice and harassment in all workplaces. Value both socially and in monetary terms soft skills, and promote women with so-called hard skills. Dispel the myth about the gendered nature of skilled sets. Make the necessary policy and legal reforms, and there's a lot more I can say about that, but I think we're going to have to keep this lean. Women leaders are needed at all levels of society, in water utilities, in government at all levels, in international and regional water institutions, in donor and in aid agencies, in scientific and in policy endeavours. We all need this. It makes for better water services outcomes, better policy decisions. It's better for the economy, and it will enable more integrated and effective water institutions. Most importantly, it's better for society. We all want to live in a fair and just society. Let's make it so.